Well, kids, in the last podcast, we said we've been measuring CO2 in the atmosphere since the 1950s. It's been increasing and it comes from human activities like fossil fuel use or burning oil, gas, coal, etc. How do we know that? Well, without getting into details, hydrocarbons obviously have carbon, and some of you may know enough chemistry to know that carbon has six protons, typically six neutrons. It's the six protons that make it carbon. But as you know, neutrons can increase in number, so you can have six protons and seven neutrons or eight neutrons, and you get things called carbon 13, carbon 14, and so on. And carbon 13 and carbon 12, which is the standard carbon, are stable, but when photosynthesis happens, plants are taking up not just CO2, but they are taking up C12O2, C13O2, C14O2, and so on. So we can use those to say where the CO2 in the atmosphere came from, and we can say it came from burning fossil fuels. Yes. Now, the next up is going back in time and figuring out how CO2 has varied, and we use glaciers for that. Quickly, what are glaciers? We'll discuss later. In cold places on land, when snow falls, it's so cold that it doesn't melt in the summer, so more snow falls on top and that gets compressed. If snow keeps on falling for years and years and years and maybe decades, centuries, then that begins to get compressed into thick ice-like material that we call glaciers. It's different than ice because it's soft like honey. It flows. If it grows on a mountain slope, glacier will flow down into the ocean and so on. So glaciers, when snow is falling and compressing, they capture bubbles of air at that time, and those bubbles have carbon dioxide, pollen, and various other things which we can use. So we go and drill into the cores on Greenland and Antarctica, Himalayas, and so on to understand how snow has been accumulating for how long, how the weather and climate have changed because of the bubbles in them, and so on. This is incredible detective work. There are also oxygen isotopes in the CO2 that's trapped that can give us, also in the ice, that can tell us how the temperatures were when that particular year glacier formed or snow fell, and so on. Incredible detective work, and it's beautiful work. Try to understand as much as you can and ping me with questions, children.